Hi, everyone. The grandfather clock is going off, so it's time to start this little live chat. Hi, I'm Casey Durango with Go Keto with Casey. Excuse me. I talk about the ketogenic diet and how other folks might be able to lose weight, improve their health, and regain control of their lives. Hi, and thank you to you all who've been waiting. And again, thank you to Susan Cosmos. Susan Cosmos has already popped in with a super chat. Thank you so much, Susan. You truly are too generous. Hey to Kelly Lassen. She writes, hello, Casey. Watched your video from yesterday on normal keto. Really helpful. Thank you. You know, I'm so glad. And first of all, I'm going to apologize. I'm in a different setting, you might notice. I've been here before, but and I'm drinking some hot broth with some ginger and cayenne in it because I feel like I'm trying to fight off a little bit of a cold, and I was sneezing like crazy earlier today. So I'm going to take this hot broth. So excuse my voice if it is raspy. Buenos dias, Luz. A and Darylyn writes, good morning, Ladybug. Am I Ladybug? Yay. There goes the cuckoo. Never on time. Okay, so I don't really have a set topic for today. I figured we'd just do some questions and answers. Not, again, that I have all the answers, but a lot of you have answers. So I'm always curious to hear what you guys have to say. And you're so great about sharing. And Wendy writes, good morning, Keto family. Indeed, it does feel like we're getting together like a little family weekly get-together, isn't it? Grace in Guelph, good morning, Casey, from Grace in Guelph, Ontario. I'm so happy to see the international folks show up. This is cool. Now, I did post a video yesterday, an old school video about normal keto. If you haven't seen it, it's really just I wanted to put some thoughts together because a recurring theme that comes up a lot is I will hear from people or I'll read on the support page. You know, everyone else seems to be losing so quickly. What am I doing wrong? I've only lost, 10 pounds in 3 weeks. Okay, first of all, awesome. 10 pounds in 3 weeks is awesome. But anyway, you can watch that video if you would like, and my thoughts on that. But I want to caution you against comparing yourself to anyone else, your rate of loss, for better or for worse. First of all, I want to put the bug out there that very possibly some people who are complaining, and I'm not talking to you, but I'm talking about those people who might be, in air quotes, complaining about their slow loss. They might be humble bragging, if you know what I'm saying. Some people will say, I've only lost X and so, and perhaps they are needing a little attention. And so they throw that out there. But don't, even if other people are losing very quickly, please do not compare yourself to anybody else. Okay, so I'm just going to repeat that. Don't compare yourself to anyone else, for good or bad. If someone else is losing at a rate slower than yours, don't try to tell them how they might be doing it wrong. And if someone else appears to be losing at a rate faster than you, certainly don't tell yourself that you're doing it wrong. Be happy for that person and move on. Okay, Julie asked if we're having a meeting in Greensboro, my hometown, soon. We're actually are going to have it, but not when I originally thought. I was hoping to have it July 18th. The spot at Texan Shirley's is booked, so it'll be July 25th, and then hopefully after that, starting in August, we can have it every second Tuesday of the month if people are interested in attending. Hi, Pamela. Good morning. And I think I saw a squirrel in there. I think my friend, hashtag my friend Jen is here. My squirrel friend. We do the squirrel a lot. I've said before, when you can have a conversation with a friend and you talk for like 6 hours with no breaks, not only is that a good friend, but there have been a lot of squirrels in that conversation. Excuse me, slurping, but I am going to try to keep my throat soothed. Okay, So, hey, Faith. So does anyone have any questions that they want to ask me or ask each other? I think someone said something about a terrible sweet tooth. Julie, I believe you had written. You know, sugar cravings, I will have to say, I don't really have them. So I can't speak to that. But maybe someone else can. Julie, do you feel like you're craving sweets because of self-soothing? Are you going through something? Or do you think maybe you're eating something that is triggering the craving? I've heard of that before. Some people say that certain non-sugar sweeteners will actually make them crave sweets. So you might want to look into that. Good morning, Wanda. Thank you. Rhonda writes, I'm looking beautiful. I will tell you, I'm not feeling all that beautiful today. Feeling kind of dumpy, and frumpy and wrinkly and saggy and droopy and all those things that happen. But I should be all those things because I'm 59. So I'm entitled to be droopy and saggy, maybe not dumpy. But anyway, thank you very much. We sometimes we feel better about our looks than other days, don't we? Dr. Father Napier, thank you, Casey, for the normal weight loss video. You are welcome. And I've heard a lot from people after that video who were saying that they needed to hear it, and I needed to hear it. I think I said in the video that I have done those around me and myself a disservice by saying that I'm a slow loser. I've said it many times. I realized I was a normal loser. Most of us are normal. Some of us can lose quickly. Like the analogy I used. Some of the population can eat jelly donuts and Mountain Dew and stay skinny and healthy. But that's not normal. And some people have perfect pitch. Most don't. Perfect pitch is not normal. And, some people, have eidetic memory. They can read something and they remember it. That's not normal. And some people lose weight really, really quickly on the ketogenic diet, but that's not normal. So some people are blessed. So we're happy for them. Maybe it's the one thing they can be happy about in their life. So let's cheer them on, but not compare ourselves to them. Okay, Wendy writes, sugar-free Jell-O makes a great dessert. You can tolerate it. 10 calories and 0 carbs. We've used sugar-free Jell-O a lot around here. We used to do it all the time. My husband really liked it with, the real whipping cream, unsweetened whipping cream, ready whip. And I've just gotten out of the habit of making it. But my friend Jen just told me about making her own gelatin, Jell-O. Jell-O's a trademark. Making her own flavored gelatin. And I'm going to try it. Use unflavored gelatin. And she uses sparkling ice. Is that what you use, Jen? Sparkling ice flavored water, which I hear is very good. So that sounds like a lot of fun. You can make lots of different flavors. Keto Jen writes, you look amazing at 59. I'm 47, post total hysterectomy and ovaries removed as well. Makes for slower weight loss. I will tell you that I did have a hysterectomy in my early 30s. And I don't know whether it makes for a slower weight loss or not, but slow is okay. Again, normal. It's just normal. Good morning, Marion. Okay, so Rachel, I usually miss the live chats and watch later, but this time I caught you. Yay! Hi, Rachel. I'm so glad you're here. Kelly Casey writes, resource to figure out macros when starting keto. I'm afraid I'm eating too much fat. Okay, Kelly Casey. I don't even like to use that M word. You do what you want to do. But I think that is too confusing. I think it makes the program, I think you become less successful on it, possibly. You don't need to worry about pie charts and percentages. And you don't have to worry about how much fat you're eating. Don't overeat dietary fat. Lay off the bulletproof coffee. Lay off the fat bombs until you figure out your tolerance. All you really need to do, keep your total carbs 20 or fewer a day. Eat fatty sources of protein. Eat only when you're hungry and stop when you're satiated. That's it. No pie charts necessary. Now, if you need structure for that, if you feel like it's just going to make you feel better, there are lots of resources. You can look at MyFitnessPal. I never tracked it. And I really think very often it's counterproductive because you're trying to squeeze your food needs into what an app is telling you. Eat fatty sources of protein and only eat when you're hungry, and the rest will take care of itself. I promise. It is like magic. Are you going to be at the, she writes, see you Tuesday. Are you going to be at the Durham support group meeting? That is awesome. Hello from Fayetteville. Sandra, are you coming to the support group meeting? Can you make it up from Fayetteville on Tuesday evening? That's at the Durham Hilton near Duke. Dr. Westman starts talking usually around 6:30. People show up about 5:45 or so. There is a keto-friendly buffet available. You don't have to purchase the food. You don't have to come and eat. You can just come and listen if you want. I hope you guys can make it. Let me know, though, because I do need to provide a head count to the hotel. You hate structure? Don't worry about the M word. Forget about it. Keep those grams of carb 20 or fewer. Yes, they do include vegetables. I get that question. Do we count the carbs in vegetables? That's the only place my carbs come from as a rule. Yes, count the carbs in veggies. Someone asked me yesterday, what if I can't just fit in 20 carbs? It's not a minimum. It's a maximum. Dr. Westman said keep it 20 or below. So when I started, I ate 0 because 0 is less than 20. So, just concentrate on that. Okay, you guys. You guys are talking to each other. I love it, love it, love it. Sandra writes, you're obligated elsewhere, but coming to one soon. Now, keep in mind, usually the Durham support group meetings are the first Tuesday of the month because the first Tuesday was the 4th of July. It got pushed to the second Tuesday. In August, it'll be back to the first Tuesday of the month. So there you go. Which I think will be August 1st. I believe that's true. Okay. What about IF on keto? Kelly Lassen writes, again, do it if you like it. I think it's a little bit arbitrary. If, in my experience and with people I have heard about, if you merely eat when you're hungry, you eventually get to what someone else would call this arbitrary thing of intermittent fasting. You're just eating when you're hungry. But I don't do a feeding window or anything like that. This morning, I had a lot to eat this morning. I had 3 slices of thick bacon, and I had 3 hard-boiled eggs with some mayonnaise and mustard. That's a lot of dense food. And I eat it earlier than usual. And some days I don't eat until 3 p.m. And some days I eat 3 times a day. Listen to your body. Your energy needs will dictate it. You do not have to set this arbitrary thing. Do it if you want to. But it sounds a little bit like a gimmick to me. Just eat when you're hungry. And some days that may be more than other days. My opinion. Do as you wish. Hey, Marlene Wolfberg. Hi, Casey. I've reached my weight loss goal. What do I do now? Keep on doing what you're doing. You won't waste away. Okay? So you're at your weight loss goal. Keep in mind, if you only eat when you're hungry, it's going to be self-regulating. Your body will tell you how much to eat. If you're going to make any adjustment, you could add in a bit of dietary fat. If you don't want to lose any more body fat, add in some dietary fat. But that's only if you don't want to lose body fat, okay? If you want to lose body fat, don't add extra dietary fat. A little bit of extra butter on your, veggies or top of your fish or whatever, or some olive oil or, sour cream or something. But loaded up bulletproof coffee and fat bombs are so much fat that your body may not turn to your fat stores on board if you're eating all that dietary fat. So just regulate that. Karen from Alaska, I've been falling off with waiting for my empty today. I'm listening to my body. Okay, I've been falling off with waiting for my empty today. I do not quite get that. Okay, someone asked about exercise. If you want to exercise, exercise. And if you're hungry, if your energy needs are increased, eat when you're hungry. There's no reason to not exercise because you want to not be hungry. If you're using energy, eat. But also remember that sometimes it can feel like you're hungry, particularly after exercise. You know, you can start tummy growling and all that stuff. But maybe push it a little bit more. And it also might regulate. So you might, so I'm more hungry than I was. I'm exercising. And then as your exercise becomes more of a norm for you, perhaps your appetite will normalize as well. Christina Wilburn writes, I really needed that video yesterday. I've been fluctuating from 194 2+ pounds for 19 days. And that is not a stall. That is not a plateau. I haven't had a new low since May, I think. So there you go. And I may not lose anymore. I don't know. But don't stress over it. If you're feeling good and you know that you're following the program, great. Now, if you're not sure if you're following the program, if you think maybe I've increased my carbs a little bit much, or, you know, I'm not in ketosis, then start asking yourself questions and then tweak. Keto it strong and keto with Harriet. Personally, I love IF and think highly of Dr. Fung. That is good. Marilee P, no need to complicate keto. As Casey says, keep carbs 20 and eat only when hungry. You're down 15.2 pounds in 50 days. That sounds like success to me. Karen wrote, I forgot the period. Today, I'm back to listening to that for that empty feeling. I love that empty feeling. You get kind of into it, get kind of addicted to it. It's not, for me, it's not an unpleasant sensation. Okay, I'm looking at these. I'm sorry for the dead air. I'm looking at some of the comments. I am getting, Kelly Casey writes, I'm getting a lot of resistance / criticism from my lovely mate. Uh-oh, what is the criticism? Is your lovely mate concerned about that this is an unhealthy diet? Or does your lovely mate have weight issues as well and maybe just doesn't want proof that there's a solution? I mean, some of us are willfully ignorant, right? I know I was for a long time. Shirley Arizaga writes, Kelly, me too. So yeah, if you're getting pushback from the people in your life, it can be a challenge. But keep in mind, even that pushback, you know, unless you're held down and force-fed Pringles, you're the only one that gets a vote. You're the only one that gets a vote. What goes in, you know, what food you eat. No one else gets a vote. Nor do you get a vote what everyone else eats. I mean, if you're providing for kids, yes, your vote counts because you're providing the meals. But beyond that, no. Kelly Casey's that I'm going to get 3 chins from eating so much fat. He just doesn't understand. You'll show him. You'll show him. And Kelly writes, I feel so amazing after only 2 weeks. That is great. Hey, Marilee. Wow, Susan Cosma, 32 pounds down in 2 months. No diabetes meds. And now I'm losing nice and slow, which is great. It took me 51 years to gain weight. So what if it takes a few years to lose another 60 pounds? Hallelujah, sister. Congratulations. Okay. And I am going to keep this one a little bit short. I actually have a full day today. Let's see what we've got going. Angie Wilbanks, you're very kind, Angie. She writes, I just adore the way you talk, explain, and share. Hello from Tampico, Tamaulipas, Mexico. Tampico, Tamaulipas. Oh, that's a good one. Tamaulipas, Mexico. That's great. Another thing that has come up a lot, we talked about it before. I'm gonna say it again. If you want to measure whether you're in ketosis and you don't want to invest, because that is expensive, in blood test strips, the blood monitor and test strips, which are pricey, use the keto sticks, use the urine test strips. Oh my gosh, so much controversy. So many people screaming into the camera saying they're a waste, they're garbage, they're inaccurate, throw them in the trash, useless. No, they're not any of those things. You can occasionally. Some people can get false negatives if you've been in ketosis a long time. And that is because your body is burning all this acetoacetate that is the byproduct of burning ketones. I've been in ketosis for 3.5 years, and mine still register perfectly normal, as does my husband's. So some people, again, not everyone, it's not necessarily the normal case, can get a false negative if you've been in ketosis a long time. You can also get a false negative if your strips are expired or if you're testing first thing in the morning, because the acetoacetate can be diluted. Test later in the day. Also, it's not a big deal. People say, oh, well, this is what I don't get. They say that the keto sticks only show that you are spilling over acetoacetate. Correct. That's what they're designed for. That is what they are designed for, to measure acetoacetate in the urine. Let's put it this way. If you're eating carbs, you're not spilling any acetoacetate over. Now, type 1 diabetics are looking to this for a different measure, okay? We're not talking about type 1 diabetics. It's like saying, well, that smoke detector, it really only measures if there's smoke in the air. Correct. That's right. That's what it does. That's its job. Okay, so use them. If they freak you out, don't use them. If it bothers you, if you don't want to know, fine. You don't have to. If you're, and remember, the tiniest little pink to the darkest purple, you're spilling over, you are burning ketones for fuel. So use them. It is like pregnancy. Okie dokie. Somebody's giving a math formula. Wow. Calculate your weight in pounds divided by your height in inches divided by your height again, then multiply by 703. Is that BMI? Another fake number I don't pay any attention to. The man who came up with it never intended it to be he was not a medical person, he was a statistician. This was over 100 years ago. It was meant to calculate entire populations of people, not individuals. Does too much protein turn to sugar? I read that a lot. Thank you, Karen, for that question. My understanding, and even Dr. Westman kind of scratches his head over this one, it would have to be a lot of protein. Humans are not, well, left to our own devices without looking at calculators and being told how much to eat, we will generally not overeat protein because we tend to feel unwell. Our bodies are really not designed to eat more protein than our body likes. So if you eat way too much, it can start to be processed like a carb and will produce glucose. But I wouldn't worry about it. You're not trying to get in protein. You're not trying to get in fats. You certainly shouldn't be trying to get in calories. Keep your carbs low and eat when you're hungry. Eat fatty sources of protein. And if you eat fatty sources of protein, the fat will satiate you and you will tend to not overeat the protein. I think a doctor that supports, this is from Kelly, a doctor that supports keto and you are losing weight is a great doctor. Absolutely. Susan Cosmos writes, I ignore a lot of the idle chit chat in the groups because page 4 does not include breads, cakes, flowers, yada, 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 yada. It's just people trying to mess y'all. Well, I don't know that it's people trying to mess anybody else up. It could be. I guess there could be saboteurs amongst us. I think what it is it's hard for some people to let go of the idea of certain foods. They don't want to let go of the idea of bread or muffins. They don't want to let go of the idea of noodles. They don't want to let go of the idea of bagels and cookies or crackers. Hence, all these flour substitutes come in. If they work for you, awesome. For me, I don't really want to eat any more of the food that got me there in the first place. It did not serve me well. And frankly, being highly motivated to eat any food does not serve me well. Food is supposed to be at my discretion. Food is supposed to serve my needs, to fuel me. And this is where I am in my life now. I don't think about food. I don't mess with food. I often forget about food. You know, my lovely mate travels, and the times when he's gone, I barely eat because I could give a rip. I now think, what can I eat so that I don't have to think about eating anymore? But if fake bread and fake crackers suit you, who am I to say? Guess what? I don't get a vote. I don't get a vote. Don't listen to anybody else. Listen to yourself. Okay, we are at what time? We're at almost half an hour, so I'm going to start to wind this up. Nana Grace, let me see, went by. Vicky writes that it's hard to let go of the idea that fat is unhealthy after being told that all my life. It is hard. You're just going to have to take it on faith because it was just wrong information. It was simply wrong information. Now that could have been conspiracy. There's a lot of unpleasant stories about how we got to the low-fat thing. And if you want to know, read Nina Teicholz's book, The Big Fat Surprise, or Gary Taub's book, if you have a year to spend of your life getting through it, Good Calories, Bad Calories, and it'll explain how we got there. It was just wrong. You know, they also used to think the world was flat. It was wrong. They were wrong about that, by the way. Kelly Casey, so tickled to see you Tuesday. I will not be eating. Thank you. Okay, I look forward to seeing you too. Make sure you come up and say hey. All right, guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I am going to hop off. Got many things to do, and I'm going to baby myself a little bit today because I can feel a tickle. Don't want to get sick. So, I will see you guys Monday, God willing, the creek don't rise, at 1 p.m. Eastern. And tomorrow, Saturday morning, 11 a.m. Eastern, I plan on doing a Facebook Live. So the live chats for now are still on, and we will see how those go. And to all my beautiful patrons, I'm getting one of the things I'm doing today is working on the calendar for July for the patron-only video chats, for the one-on-ones, for those of you who qualify. Thank you guys so much for your support. And the rest of you can thank the patrons too, because they help make it possible for people like me to do stuff like this. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, I will be seeing you on the other side of this weekend. Keep it in the road. Keep your carbs to 20 grams or fewer. Eat only when you're hungry. Eat daddy sources of protein. Don't worry about the rest. And don't compare yourself to anybody else. Just be happy with any success you find. Feeling better, being more clear-headed, being able to bend over to tie your shoelaces, whatever you are now accomplishing or achieving that you weren't before, all of those are victories. Every pill you no longer have to take, that's a victory. You know, every joint that doesn't hurt, that's a victory. Every time you realize you just ran up a flight of stairs and you hadn't run up a flight of stairs in 27 years, that's a victory. Okay? Count them all, embrace them, own them, share them with the people around you. And Kelly Casey, your lovely mate will come on board. My experience is it usually takes about 6 months for the trailing mate to follow behind. That's exactly what it took in my household. Okay, guys, keep it real. Thanks for letting me into your world. TTFN. Bye. Hashtag my friend Jen. Talk to you soon.